I was dumped by my GF because she thought I wasn't going anywhere in life. What excuses have you heard when you were dumped? The one that comes to mind is the complete opposite. Actually, I got a text saying sorry. No elaboration. Nothing. Sorry. My ex broke up with me without even a sorry. Just stopped returning my calls and texts. After a year together. Just silence. I feel your pain. I've been cheating on you for the past several months. I think I have a serious problem. We should go our separate ways. I appreciated the honesty, but then he got engaged 3 weeks later. His loss, my gain. A friend of mine got dumped over something silly, like it's not you it's me. He was pretty mad frustrated about it until he heard about what happened to the guy she started dating 3 days later. He came home late from a club drunk and the mad bee stabbed him to death. That could have been my friend. Was not expecting that ending. To a friend of mine, imagine you're walking down a lane and find a stick in the hedge. What if there's a better stick further on? I can't stay with you, because I feel like I'm going to miss finding that bigger stick. Poor bastard. He's doing okay now though. You will too. Op. In the meantime, have an internet hug. That's a needlessly elaborate way to tell your friend he has a small penis. A few weeks ago I was planning on breaking up with you because you're the kind of girlfriend I'd want to be with forever, and I'm living in a frat right now. Then he told me he cheated on me. Good fun, good fun. My ex, GF, told me I was too good for her and I deserved better. I didn't find out about the 5 other guys until a mutual friend told me afterwards. TL. DR. Some people aren't worth it. It's funny how much people read into breakup explanations or excuses. I don't believe humans are very good at explaining behavior changes due to unconscious emotional impulses such as falling in love with another person. They're so off the mark about the real reasons it's not even funny. They don't even know what's going on. So all explanations are irrelevant. In my world, I don't feel the same about you anymore is equivalent to I think we're growing apart because you're fat and your finances are out of whack. The former explanation is truer, although less consoling. We feel better if we can pinpoint our mistakes. Women, my friends, will overlook every bad thing about you. Finances, looks, crappy car, being overweight, lack of education, if they truly are in love with you. So whenever you hear an excuse, don't focus on the words because they are just saying I don't love you anymore. I'm way too late to this thread, but I have to. You're cutting into my WoW raiding time. Dude was in university on loans taking the bare minimum of courses. His landlords fed him dinner, his 1 meal a day. He had no job and social life outside of me. I was in university full-time, in an intensive program that demanded 12 to 14-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week, a busy social life, and I still found time to see him. The other guy was thinking of taking a job in another province. We'd been together 3 months. He asked my opinion. I said whatever you decide, I'll support you. Turns out this was the wrong answer. I asked him what the right answer would have been. Apparently it would be either I'll move with you or but what about our relationship? This happened right after he borrowed $650 from me that he never paid back. I later found out he'd been cheating on me with a girl who had the same extremely uncommon name as I do. TL. DR. I pick winners. In his defense, when you find someone named I Heart Giraffe, and then you find another I Heart Giraffe, it's like finding the longer stick in a bush further down the path of a long walk. I'm worried I'm going to cheat on you on 2 separate occasions, different women, several years apart. Always assumed it to mean I have cheated on you. I was cheating on you while I wrote the text. My fiance of 3 years dumped me with the explanation, we go to Target way too much. Also, I don't love you. Bonus material, this is how this winner proposed. We went for a walk in a nearby park and then he started stammering like a fool and saying, well, I've been thinking about the long-term benefits of entering into a marriage. I asked him if it was a proposal or a business arrangement. He then got down on one knee, reached into his pocket, and pulled out his wallet, because he'd forgotten the ring in the car. He said he wanted to just use it as a placeholder until we got back to the car. I really love telling this story because I'm so far removed from it that I can now look at it from a humorous perspective. I'm also generally pretty good at the self-deprecating humor, so this usually gets some good laughs when I tell it to people. Hey, the jackass proposed and broke up with me in super lame ways. I'm going to capitalize on the story as much as I can. He said we slept together on the first date. I just think we moved too quickly. But I think he meant I'm ready to sleep with other girls on the first date. This was from my ex-GF from the night she dumped me. 1. I want you to be happy, and we can't be happy together. 2. I want to get married, and you want to wait until my kids graduate from college. 3. You want a steady and quiet life. I need chaos and excitement. 4. You really overreacted when you thought I had killed the family pet. What she forgot to tell me was the primary and real reason, which was 1. I have started to frick someone else. Boom, almost an 8-year relationship, over in less than 30 minutes. You really overreacted when you thought I had killed the family pet. I think you need to elaborate on this one. After I found out she was cheating. You're too good and nice. I don't love you anymore. I fell in love with someone else. So, you want someone who treats you like crap? I want someone who can make me do things when I don't want to do them. We were married for less than 3 months. We had dated for 7 years. Felt bad, man. Karma bit her in the butt though. First date. Me. I don't want kids. Ever. Had surgery to make sure I never would. Him. Okay. 2 years later. Wedding plans underway. Him. So I wanna have a couple kids within 5 years. Me. What? You know I had my tubes tied. That's why we don't have to use condoms. Remember? Him. Yeah, I know. But I thought I could go impregnate my last fiancée. She doesn't want kids, but doesn't mind surrogating for us. Then you could raise them. Cool. Huh. Me. Boggles for a full minute what part of I went through a painful and expensive surgery to make sure I never have kids suggests to you that I actually want to raise kids. Let alone yours by another woman. Him. You are ruining my dreams. I thought you'd change your mind if you really loved me. Picks up chick in gym the following week. Phones me constantly to describe in explicit detail what an amazing frick she is. Marries her 6 months later. They punch out a couple of rugrats, and she makes him sell the vintage Camaro that he's literally spent the last decade rebuilding from the ground up, including using a metal lathe to build parts and get a minivan instead. I got tired of the phone calls and moved 1,000 miles away. Frick this crap. And she makes him sell the vintage Camaro that he's literally spent the last decade rebuilding from the ground up, including using a metal lathe to build parts, and get a minivan instead. Actual, 100% genuine LOL. Lisa, what do you say to a boy to let him know you're not interested? Marge Simpson. Well, honey, Homer, let me handle this. Marge, I've heard them all. I like you as a friend. I think we should see other people. I know speak English. Lisa, I get the idea. Homer, I'm married to the sea. I don't want to kill you but I will. Marge Simpson. Honey, Lisa, I'd tell this boy that you're very flattered, but you're just not ready for this kind of thing. Lisa, thanks, Mom. Homer, and if that doesn't work, 6 simple words. I'm not gay, but I'll learn. I caught my then boyfriend in a lie about why he couldn't see me on the weekend. He said that his mother dragged him to a craft store and he was stuck in the car. Since I knew he used Yahoo a lot, I did a chat search and saw him in a chat room. When I asked how he could be chatting online while in the car and talking to me on the phone, he flat out denied it. I decided to give him another chance, but when he bailed again, I did another chat search, under another name. I said hello and asked if he was single. He said he was. Later that day, I caught him in an adult chat while exposing himself on his webcam and setting up meetings for casual encounters. I called him, crying and asking why he was doing this. He angrily called me a child and that I was too immature for him. He wasn't going to deal with my problems anymore. Click. That's how my ex broke up with me, after over 2 years and him bringing up marriage more than once. This will probably be buried in the older comments, but just hear me out, man. I got my computer science degree and was hired by a fairly large company right out of college as a software engineer. I make an income comparable to yours and I get to travel overseas a few times a year for work. I am 30 now and have been working here for 7 years. I made the mistake of letting a career determine where I was headed. I used my career as an excuse to forget the rest of my life goals and dreams. You end up making a good salary, but yet you end up paycheck to paycheck because you buy into consumerism, rack up bills and probably have a mortgage. If you are in a similar case, then your ex was right. You are going nowhere. Why? Because you are already there. You have chosen your path of a career man and that is what you have to look forward to for the next 30 years. While some people strive for this type of thing, a lot of us don't. Do I really find it enjoyable to spend my days in an office working for someone else? I saw where I was headed. When I looked into the future I saw myself driving to the office every day. You know how dang depressing that is? Then I realized I actually have a choice. I sold my townhouse and saved up a bunch of money. This year I'm taking a break from the corporate world for a while to chase down some dreams. I'm just saying it's quite possible this is what your ex meant when she said you were going nowhere. She said that she was sorry and that she thought she could, but she just couldn't view me as physically attractive when I was naked because I'm white. After 3.5 years, and we've done everything together, she said the small things add up, and I realized it's not that I don't want to spend the rest of my life with you, but I can't live with you. Also added note to that she recently admitted that she's in love with her guy friend who's 3,000 miles away, that she's seen once. We still live together and are still good friends. I honestly think there's something wrong with me. She recently admitted that she's in love with her guy friend who's 3,000 miles away, that she's seen once. There may well be something wrong with you. I have no idea, but there's definitely something wrong with her. I got the I've always been in a relationship and I just want some time to figure out who I am. A week later she was dating a friend of mine. B. That's who she is. We broke up because he cheated on me with his ex-GF. His reasoning: we became too committed. I can't become committed to a woman in this point in my life. Maybe in the past, but not now. When I started to cry, he continued, "You're so young. You'll get over it. You'll have tons of other guys." So I retorted, "I have more years to have more guys, but it also means I'll have a longer time to remember what you did to me and what freaking C you really are." He made it seem like 25-year-olds don't have feelings, as opposed to guys in their mid-30s. Like they have a love life buoyancy that makes them unbreakable if you drop them hard. When I texted him later in seething hatred, he texted back, "You'll have a guy by midnight. Move on." I imagine he said this casually, like a police officer waving along traffic. I was so angry because he had earlier broken up with me, and then had courted me back. Why did he want me back? Because he was tired of chasing tail. I was angry at him for betraying me, and myself too, for letting myself be fooled a second time. My first wife and I always fought because I wasn't living up to my potential. Now, some backstory. We met in high school, where I was a National Merit Scholar, a 4.0 student, and in a number of honors classes and programs, the Physics Club, the Math Club, Academic Decathlon, etc. During my senior year, I secured senatorial sponsorship to West Point Academy. I got her pregnant, which, I freely admit, was my dumb mistake. Our senior year in high school, she had no intention of exploring any option other than having the baby, so I didn't go to college, and instead entered the working world as a husband and father at 19, working 2 jobs, Bennigan's line cook and newspaper delivery at night, to make ends meet while she did no work and continued to go to college while her parents watched our baby. This was the time when she constantly was down on me for failing to live up to my potential. As if any 19-year-old with no college education, a new baby, and paying someone else's college tuition is going to be doing awesomely at life. In the years since we've split up, I've managed to run a successful martial arts studio, be involved in several moderately successful local Celtic bands, Make computer programming my career. I currently am head of software development at a mid-sized company. Publish a reasonably successful novel. Maintain a website that helps about 2 million Setlick musicians a year. And create my own line of tin 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 line in your face. B. Your relevant username made me laugh. Have you considered that your ex might have had a different idea of what going somewhere means than you do? Maybe she meant you aren't going anywhere personally, creatively or emotionally. This is it. It's not that you're not going anywhere. It's that you're not going anywhere exciting according to her. It doesn't mean you have to change. You just have to find someone who wants the same things you do, which is probably that is more traditional and family values oriented. They should give every commenter in this thread a job in the army. The amount of bullet dodging that's supposedly going on could be used to dodge literal bullets rather than crazy people. A lot of comments already, so this might not be seen, but whatever. I had a girlfriend ask me if I'd consider moving 1,500 miles away to live in a treehouse. When I said no, she told me, "You won't live with me in a treehouse and all you want to do is have sex and watch Futurama. You're too boring for me." Never saw her again, although I heard she married the guy who built said treehouse a month later. Friend of mine was dating a good-looking Swedish girl for months before dumping her for dubious reasons. He had finally met her parents and discovered that her mother had flabby arms. He operated by the rule of the mother being the future image of the daughter. What's the point in continuing the relationship? We all told him he was crazy. Perhaps the most bizarre part, she lived across the street from us, and he'd broke up with her via a written letter. A letter mailed from across the street. She was confused and no one among had the balls to tell her what happened. Scumbag friend. College years. My boyfriend of 18 months dumped me because his mother didn't like me. Deleted. I don't have any stories that measure up, but I have exchanged a few funny post-breakup comments. Could you be a little bit more of a dong about this, please? You're making it hard to move on. Listen, if this breakup is going to work, I'm going to need you to gain at least 15 pounds. By the way, I think your sister might be my new housemate, so I probably shouldn't hit that, right? You're too nice. I'm not used to it and don't know how to handle it. I mean, you open doors and stuff. It's just too much. Whatever. She was stupid and had a dong inside her pee anyway. You just don't beat me enough, and I need that. Girl here. Worst excuse. You're just too great and I'm only looking for sex. You're just too much of what I want but shouldn't have right now. Sorry babe. WTF boys? Anyone here want to sleep with someone and have them bake you cookies? Damn it. It's tough for people to be honest. The answer is usually I don't like you anymore. You annoy me. People should always assume that's why someone is breaking up with them and their demanding a reason doesn't help. Let people just say I think we should break up and don't demand a reason. The reason is obvious and by demanding a reason, you are putting them in a terrible situation that leads to people making up bulls. You're working for a Fortune 50 company, and I get the impression that you're under 35, so in a nutshell she dumped you into a pit of dong hungry women. I don't know you, so of course I really don't know where your faults are, but if I were you I'd go to our fitness, our Maleficent advice, and our cooking, and then when you're ready to go back on the market just step out your front door and feed the beast. I never understood why honesty is so hard to find in a relationship. When I left my last so I told him straight up, I am not sexually attracted to you anymore. This does not change the amazing person you are but it mean I must move on. Nuff said. We're still roommates. No excuse, just a fact I'll point out. If she wants to be with you, you could crap in the sink and she'd think it's the best. If she doesn't want to be with you, everything she likes can be done for her at once and it will never be enough. Now that this thread is about 5 hours old, I doubt that this will get read as it will be buried in the pile submitted before it, but still a good story nonetheless. This was the summer of 2010, mid-June to be exact. I woke up that morning to a call from my dad letting me know his uncle was in the hospital after an attempted suicide, and that his mom, my grandmother, was hospitalized for a panic attack after finding out what had happened to her brother. This was also the morning of a very close friend's wedding to which I was a part of. Me and my girlfriend at the time were invited as I was to be a part of the ceremony, and she knew all of my friends and was cool with coming to hang out. So I had a lot on my plate to start with. After hearing the bad news, I called my then girlfriend to try and talk about everything in a rather hungover state due to the previous night of gentlemanly drinking. Right then and there she told me that I was too emotionally needy and that I needed to be a man about things and that she didn't want to be with me anymore. I hung up, called my friend and told him what was going on and that I might not be able to make it. We had been together for 3 years, and all of life just piled up in 1 hour. He understood. After about 2 hours of being a sourpuss about everything, I decided to show up to my friend's wedding. A half hour into the ceremony, wearing cut-off shorts, a t-shirt with a blazer, high-top chucks, sunglasses and a 6-pack of cheap beer in my hand, and flowers in the other for the bride, I was seated, told that the open bar was open early for me, proceed to get fricked up, sing karaoke, go to a bar, get in a fight, cry, go home, live life. It was one of the greatest days for me. Dad's uncle was fine. Grandma turned out okay. Glad to out of that relationship. Individual. I have seen this before and here is what you should do. First, bet your best friend that you can do 10 push-ups. Win the bet and double your cash. Next, you and your bestie go down to the local recruiter's office and sign up to be in the army. While in basic, ensure that your DI is blown up when a captain that wants to be a prosecuting attorney at night is inspecting a mortar range. Complete your basic and be placed on a secret project in Germany. Defeat the commies. Get a hot chick cop girlfriend and a small parade when you come back to the States. Army training, sir. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.